Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to another episode of Maxwell Starr's Beer Reviews. Here tonight with an endless review. Kinda. We're taking a look at endless beer. I wish there was endless beer, but this one apparently calls itself Endless IPA. This is from Goose Island. Goose Island's Endless IPA, which is their session IPA. So, I suppose you could say, I was going to say, like, you know what, it's a session IPA. It's not absolutely endless. I mean, there's end somewhere in the flavor department, but if it's a session ale, it's probably one that you could drink endlessly on this long summer day, so we'll give it to them. So, yeah, Goose Island, I think they're a subsidiary of maybe InBev, but they still make very craftish beers. One of the best beers I've ever had was actually the Bourbon County, but this is probably a far cry from that. Apparently, though, even though this is endless, it's a limited edition, so if it's endlessly limited, that's kind of an oxymoron. So, session IPA with fresh orange aroma and crisp, endlessly refreshing flavor. That must be the endless part. 5% ABV. So, it is a lighter IPA, I guess, in the IPA standard. But as far as like session IPAs, that's kind of a little more towards the heavy side. I mean, some session IPAs tend to, go 4.5 to 5.5. I've seen some 5.5, but whatever. Any more information on the can? Doesn't mention what hops they used. Just that it's apparently a limited edition, even though this is the second time I've had it in 3 months. So, yeah, let's pour it out. Yeah, they probably want to make a beer that's going to be a sessionable IPA for the summertime. And I've had Goose Island's IPA, both the Canadian and the American brewed version. I like the American brewed version, and I think I even had it before they were bought out by InBev. But the Canadian version was okay, it was good. So looking at that, very clear. The only thing I'm seeing on this is the fingerprints on the outside of my glass. 2 fingers ahead on the top, very almost straw yellow brass kind of color. Very light, very highly polished brass. Very little carbonation too. I'm seeing like little bits of bubbles, not like heavy streamers. It's just a mostly flat looking beer. Looks like the kind of carbonation you would get in a can of like a glass of 7-Up that's been sitting on the counter for 3 hours. Not to say that this is probably a flat beer. It just looks not very exciting in the carbonation department, but whatever. You don't really want a super carbonated beer on an endless summer day, right? So let's put this down, or let's give it a sniff. Ooh. Oh, that's a nice smell. Smells very tropical. Got pink grapefruit and orange, and you got pineapple. A little subtly sweet, but mostly this very juicy pineapple. Maybe a subtle hint of something like a dank note as well. Like not that dank as a smell. It's kind of like this muted, rolled off kind of dank but juicy caramel pineapple. Almost like the caramel pineapple kind of roll into one at like a cherry note, like a maraschino cherry. That's got a really nice smell. I like the smell of that so far. So let's put this thing down the hatch, shall we? Cheers. So coming in with a smell like that, I was hoping that a lot of that would carry into this taste with this nice, sweet, juicy, tropical, tossed, like fruit salad kind of flavor. But instead I get this, fairly well carbonated, like a very light, airy, soda water kind of background. You get like these gentle notes of some of those tropical hops licking the top of your mouth, and a little tiny resin note that's lingering in the center of the tongue as it goes down. But mostly, my mouth is almost completely dry after that, in that puff of soda water foam. And even if you were to take a drink and let it sit there for a bit, you're not getting much out of it. There's some good flavors to it. but it's not overly exciting. I mean, its smell is far more beautiful than the taste is. But what I will give it for being an InBev product is I'm not getting any corn whatsoever. It doesn't taste like they've used any kind of artificial like adjuncts like rice or corn to beef up the ABV on this thing. It actually is a very clean drinking beer with just a touch of hops. So it's kind of, I'm kind of torn. I mean, it is doing exactly what it says it's supposed to be doing. It's a session IPA. This is something you could drink on a summer day. Very clean finish. It's not too heavy. You could drink quite a few of these without feeling, well, maybe you might feel a little bloated after a few of these, but as far as the gas, if you can't burp them up. But as far as being able to drink a lot of these, and at 5% ABV, you're still doing okay in the ABV department. Yeah, I mean, that's about as heavy as your normal lager, and there's a little bit more flavor for sure. The only thing is that it also plays into what I don't like about session IPAs, and that is that despite how light they are, they don't bring enough balance in behind the hops to really balance them out, and I'm getting this big soda water, that weird, like almost like unsweetened hop kind of taste where you get like that resin and the old stale hoppy leaf or something, that aftertaste that like kind of takes that nice juicy tropical note and then flips it out inside out into this kind of if that's an accurate description or not. That makes it sound like there's a lot going on in this, but there really isn't that much. Is it a drinkable beer? Oh, hell yeah. Is it a recommended beer? Yeah, I like it. Would I opt for this over, say, some of the other session IPAs? I'm trying to remember a session I don't think I would take this over Red Racers. At least the most recent version that I had. But if somebody were to hand me a can of this, it wouldn't be that bad. Or if I was looking for a beer in the store, then they didn't have very many options, and I wanted something with flavor to quench my thirst, this is perfect. So yeah, I'm gonna give that 3.25 out of 5. I was almost thinking 3, but I think it deserves a little bit more credit than that. It's much better than like Muskoka Detour. Anyway, yeah. So it's not so endless, but it is not bad. That's Goose Island's Endless IPA. Thanks for watching Maxwell Starr's Beer Reviews, and I hope you enjoyed. And tune in next time where I take a look at more beer. Cheers.